begin? Should we turn on this light? To make it more... Now we know who's on stage and who's in the audience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're Modern Times Theater. We're here tonight to present a variety of entertainments for you. We are puppeteers, vaudevillians, musicians, and on the weekends we relax.
Charmers, jokesters.
And such. So, Parents. Yeah, if there's a baby yelling or making noise during the show...
That's our baby.
It's ours, so we don't mind.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very glad that you chose to come here tonight. We're very glad that you're here joining us for some live theatrical entertainment, because we know that there are many other things, many other options that you possibly had available to you tonight.
You didn't have to come here.
We know that you didn't have to come, that you chose to come by your own free will, that you got in the car and drove here. And we appreciate that you chose to come here instead of driving to, for example, the nearest multiplex theater.
One of those ones with 12 and an
where
IMAX and a 3D.
you could possibly see a movie.
You could have done that.
We know that you could have.
But you didn't.
You came here instead, and we appreciate that.
We do.
So, because we appreciate that so much, we want to give you a little sample of what you're missing tonight.
What you're not going to see tonight.
What you didn't get to experience.
We want to show you what you won't see tonight.
And that something would be the experience of going to see
the latest blockbuster,
a movie,
for example.
And what happens when you go and see a movie?
Lots of different steps.
Some of you might not be familiar with the experience, but what happens is...
The obvious first
step. The very first thing is you wait online.
Yeah.
You queue up.
Queue.
Not online.
In England, it's a queue.
You get online.
You get online.
And
you wait on the line.
You wait on the line. So we would like to take you there right now to the multiplex theater and show you the experience of waiting on the line.
We'll give you the whole Friday night movie experience, since it's not what you're going to see.
Would you like to take care of it?
Yeah.
We're going to queue up our iPod.
I'm going to charge the iPod.
It's our iPod. Don't ask questions. And we're going to take you now to the multiplex.
To the line.
To the line. In front of the multiplex.
It's the original iPod.
and that's waiting on the line.
But of course,
that's only the beginning.
That's not where it ends.
Now
that's
get in.
Just the beginning.
That's just
then you get in, and what happens then? You get to the refreshment stand, and you get yourself a soda, and you get yourself some popcorn, and you get yourself a box of $20 Juji fruits, and then you mortgage your house and pay for all that stuff. And then you go in there, and you find your seat, the big empty theater, and you sit down, and then you wait, 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 all together, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then another guy comes in with a top hat, and he comes in and he finds the seat that's directly in front of you, and he sits down. And now you can't see, so excuse me, sir, can you take your top hat off? And he says, sure, I can take my hat off. And he takes it off, and his head is shaped like that. Okay, fine. So you find a different seat, and you sit down. You sit down, and then you wait, 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 and you wait, and then finally the room gets dark, and the screen lights up, and the picture is about to begin. And it starts with a big wide shot. It's a really wide shot, the entire universe. And then they zoom in a little bit, and you see a galaxy. And they zoom in a little more, and you see a solar system. And they zoom in a little more, and you see a little blue-green planet. And then they're zooming in on that, and then a big metal thing comes from out of nowhere, and it knocks into the camera, and it's a word, but you don't have time to read it because it cuts really quick to a flying unicorn. And then a little kid with a fishing rod and a blurry photograph. And then there's a lion, and it roars, and the popcorn goes everywhere. But that's not actually the movie. Those are just the studio identifiers before the movie. Okay, now the picture starts for real. Now it's a blockbuster. It's a fantastic picture. It starts on a big, wide, tree-lined street in suburban America, somewhere that none of us can afford to live. And there's a paper boy, and he's delivering papers, and one by one he's throwing them, and they hit the door. Boom, 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 boom. And they're landing there, and then finally the door opens, and it's the door of our hero. And he steps out, and he takes a big breath of fresh air, and he has a magnificent chest, and he's our hero. He's fantastic. He's maybe an ex-cop, or he's an ex-marine, or perhaps he's a superhero, or something like that. In real life, he's a Scientologist. Anyway, he's our hero. So he steps out, he takes a breath of fresh air. Now let's deepen the plot a little bit. The minivan drives up, and it pulls in, and inside the minivan is the ex-wife, her new husband, and the two kids. Now, the two kids run out, they get right into the house. The ex-wife steps out. She's cute but sour. The new husband steps out. He's an intellectual. He's sort of a jerk. Anyway, so the wife says something like, I hope you're not going to let those kids eat garbage all weekend. No, I'm not going to let those kids eat garbage all weekend. And then the new husband says, oh, honey, we're going to be late for La Boheme. We have to go. They get in the minivan, they're gone. We never see them for the rest of the movie. Then, the guy goes into the house, he tries to bond with his kids. One's on the buttons. The other one's on the horn. I'm here with my dad all weekend, it's terrible. Okay, fine. Now, let's get on with the plot. Something terrible happens. Like, maybe it's one of those, like, weather movies. There's a terrible storm. 3 feet of snow in Boston. No, that's ridiculous. Okay, no, it's a terrorist attack. No, that's too real. How about Nazis? They've done it. Okay, I got it. It's surfing aliens coming to the Earth in order to steal all of our kittens and puppies in order to power their spacecraft. Yeah, that's good. That's what it is. It's one of those alien pictures. Okay, so immediately things really heat up. Everybody gets in the minivan. They have to escape. They have to flee somewhere. So they get in there. They even take the annoying neighbor. He's there for some comic relief. Okay, and there's a car chase. And then there's an explosion. And some guns. And then the tension starts to ratchet up. Dum-dum, dum-dum, dum-dum. And there's more explosions. And a little more gunfire. And the tension gets ratcheted up even more. Dum-dum, dum-dum, dum-dum. And then you realize you're getting really tense because you drank that whole soda. You've got to get to the bathroom. Okay, so now the theater's full. You got to get out of your seat. You got to get up. Excuse me. Sorry, coming through. Pardon me. Coming through this way. Hey, don't do that. Okay, and you get to the bathroom. You do what you do there, and you come back. You're feeling much better, and then you get back into your seat. Sorry, excuse me. Coming through. Sorry. Watch it. Okay, and you sit down. You ask your friend, "What did I miss?" No, you didn't miss nothing. What do you mean I didn't miss nothing? No, you didn't miss nothing. How could I not miss nothing? I was gone for 10 minutes. Not that kind of picture. Okay, fine. You didn't miss nothing. And you look at the screen, and again, it's back to the car chase. The whole movie's car chases with guns and explosions. And then they have a car chase, but instead of a car, it's in a boat. And then they have a car chase on a hang glider. And then there's more explosions. Then there's a love interest. A beautiful woman comes out of nowhere, and she and the main guy get to kiss a whole bunch. Fine, back to the car chase. And the explosions. And things are getting really tense. Then they destroy New York City. And then they blow up the White House. And then they knock over the Eiffel Tower. Sacre bleu. And then there's a really, really big explosion, and you see coming through the smoke those words, "Coming soon to a theater near you." And you realize it's just a preview. There's going to be 6 more, plus an athletics sneaker commercial.
Right, but that's not what's happening here.
No, that's not what we're showing you tonight.
We're not going to tease you. We're not going to make
I don't want that thing. Thank you.
We're not going to make you wait around any longer. We're going to just give you some entertainment. We'd like to entertain you now. We'd like to try our best.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be playing a number of novelty tunes. Even though they're all about 100 years old, we still find them novel, and we hope you will too. Are you ready for that?
Yeah!
Okay, here we go. Let's get novel. This first song is about a wonderful place on the earth, a place that some of us have lived in and don't usually admit that on stage. Hackensack, New Jersey. Here we go. The really interesting thing about this song is that it was written.
next song?
Number 11. If you want a better man, you'll have to go to heaven. For anything he undertakes, he's always on the square. The only thing he asks of you is be sure and pay your fare. The telegraph poles as we roll by looks like pieces of corn. The engine sways on all 8 wheels, red hot around the door. From hill and dale we roll with ease, past streams like fly strip ribbons. All we need is a pair of wings to take off into heaven. Watch out. Some people consider it a talent. My man's a jolly railroad man, folks all call him Shorty. He never worked at anything else. Tomorrow he'll be 40. An engineer is what he is. For him I'd go the limit. So try to chase him if you can. His engine's gonna win it.
Thank you. This is song by Moonshine Kate. Let's see. We're
One or two more for you?
yeah.
Should we try that new arrangement?
Oh yeah. Okay. Here, we're going to play something we've never played in front of people before because we trust you so much as an audience.
Do our best.
You'll know the new part.
Hi. You gonna do some dancing? That's how we get her to sit down.
Just pick a man if you're invited now. Yes, sick of her, sick of that's my baby. No, sick of her, sick of don't mean maybe. Yes, sick of her, sick of that's my baby now.
Well, that went pretty well, I thought. Okay, so now we'll get to the puppet show, to the meat of the matter. And I'll say that we've got a Cheap Art Emporium for sale downstairs. Original prints,
You can take the whole store
cardboard
for $500.
art. There's little guys that you pull the cord and they go like this. It's all for sale.
CDs of the music that you just heard.
And more. It's all negotiable. And we'll even sell you the gramophone if you're really into it.
Could you turn off that light right behind you there on the wall? Thank you very much.
Okay.
And that means we're ready to start.
We're moving onward!
We're moving onward!
We're moving onward!
Wild dogs and astonished buffalo watched as the hustle and bustle began in the desolate spot. As flecks of coal and ashes and paper and tin appeared in the virgin country. The first rifle shot thundered and echoed in the mountains. The first anvil sounded. A house made of wood arose. And on the next day, another.
So classy.
And others. And every day, new ones. The wild dogs and buffalo stayed far away. The region became tame and fertile. Already in the first spring, there were rolling green fields filled with fruit. Streets cut through the wilderness. railroad station was finished and dedicated, followed by the government building and the bank.
I hereby dedicate this fantastic new financial center to you, the people of this good city.
Wow! It's so municipal!
Yes, there's paperwork for everyone.
Oh, smell the new carpeting!
Yes, and linoleum.
Workers, farmers, and city people came from all over the world. Businessmen and lawyers, preachers and teachers came. A school was founded, 3 religious communities, and 2 newspapers.
And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you now some 2 newspapers' music. Music, please. In the West, oil was discovered. The young city became rich. After another year, there were pickpockets, pimps, burglars, a warehouse, a prohibition league, a Paris tailor, and a Bavarian beer hall. Nothing more was missing, from movie theaters to associations of spiritualists. One could buy French wine, Norwegian herring, Italian sausages, English textiles, and Russian caviar in the city.
I propose a toast!
A toast!
To you!
To us!
To us! Oh, that's good. Yeah.
You didn't used to be able to get that here.
But now you can.
You can. Oh, so good. Culture also came gradually. The city, which had been only a settlement at first, began to develop into a homeland with traditions. There was now a particular way to greet someone that was distinguished from such ways in other cities by its light and gentle manner. Pardon me.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good gravy.
How's your mother?
Good gracious.
Oh, are you feeling all right?
Good evening.
I like your hat.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good morning again. The men who had taken part in the founding of the city enjoyed respect and popularity. A young generation grew up. To them, the city already seemed to be an old city that had existed since eternity. The founding day of the famous city was celebrated every year with songs and speeches. The former prairie was covered with fields, factories, and villages, and traversed by 20 railroad lines. Dum dum, dum dum, grrrrum.
Wow, what a parade.
Oh, I've never seen anything quite like
Did
that.
you hear that band?
Amazing.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good day.
Oh, could you see?
Pardon me.
I'm sorry, was I in your way?
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kids.
100 years after its foundation, an earthquake shattered and devastated the city.
It's raining houses.
It sprang up once more, however,
Just leave them. Just leave them.
and all the wooden structures now became stone. Everything small was now big. Everything narrow, wide. The stock market was the largest in the country. The railroad station was the largest in the world. Artists and architects decorated the rejuvenated city with public buildings, parks, fountains, and monuments. In the course of this new century, the city gained the reputation of being the most beautiful and richest in the country, and a city well worth seeing. Politicians and architects, technicians and mayors of foreign cities took trips to study the institutions of the famous city.
And to your left, you will see our city's most famous edifice.
Oh, what an orifice on that edifice!
And to your right, you will notice that a broad belt of green parks encircles our city.
Oh, I knew a broad with a green belt once too!
And to your right, you will see our city's most famous attraction.
What is it?
The gift shop.
Oh, let me off the bus!
Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Cheap Chinese garbage for everyone.
A tremendous museum portrayed the history of the city from its origins until its most recent development. The young people of the city strolled through this hall and observed the course of their history, from the tents and wooden sheds, from the first uneven rails, to the splendor of the large municipal streets. Guided and instructed by their teachers, they learned all about the glorious laws of development and progress.
And here we see how fine things were made from raw material. And here we see how human beings evolved from animals.
Not true.
Can anyone tell me how culture was formed out of nature?
Oh,
Anyone?
No.
Anyone? I didn't think so.
And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you now a culture formed from nature dance accompanied by a culture formed from nature suite. Thank you. In the next century, the city reached the high point of its glory, which unfolded in rich opulence and grew rapidly until, hey, 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 hey!
What?
A bloody revolution of the lower classes set a limit to this splendor. Eat the rich! Eat the rich! Eat the rich! The mob began by setting fire to the large oil works a few miles from the city, so that a great part of the country with factories, farms, and villages was either burned or deserted.
Oh, sorry about that.
Pardon me, did I destroy your
I
factory?
didn't mean to do that.
We'll clean it up.
Thank you.
The city slowly recovered once again to more sober decades. Still, it was never able to regain its earlier buoyant life. It was no longer the heart and brains of a world, no longer the market and stock market of numerous countries. The creative powers of business and industry had nothing more to build and conquer, and little more to trade and earn. Instead, an intellectual life took root in the now old cultural soil. Scholars and artists, as well as painters and writers, were generated by the city, which had now become solemn.
Here sit I upon the mossy
garden wall. The gray-green waters gently flowing by.
Too true.
All the old heroes have taken a fall.
Indeed.
And the only one singing is the lark in the,
Yes.
what rhymes with by?
Thigh.
The lark in the thigh.
The
That's
lark
very
in the
good.
thigh. Publish it.
Yeah.
However, the people felt a powerful urge more and more to move to other parts of the earth. In the city itself, the heirs of the old native families began to die out or become impoverished. The last intellectual flowering had long since experienced its heyday, and only a decayed infrastructure was left. And therefore, we present now some decayed infrastructure music with a decayed infrastructure dance.
Did you just fart? Did you just fart? No, he did. He farted.
Only witches. In the wake of an earthquake that spared the city, the course of the river was shifted, and a part of the ravaged countryside was turned into a swamp, and another part into a desert. In the mountains, where the remains of ancient quarries and summer homes crumbled away, the forest climbed up. The old forest. It saw the vast region lying bare, and it began to envelop this land piece by piece, so that everything became part of its green circle. In the end, there were no more citizens living in the houses, only packs of vagabonds, wild, churlish people who took refuge in the crooked, sinking palaces of olden times and let their goats graze in the former gardens and streets.
Hey, my grandfather was the king of this palace once. And there's gold here somewhere, I tell you. And we could find it if you hadn't eaten the mat.
Even these last inhabitants gradually died out from disease and insanity.
Pardon me.
Oh, excuse me.
Hey,
how's your mother?
Nothing saying.
The remains of the old city hall, which had once been the pride of its time, were still enormous and stood very tall. But the forest climbed farther down from the mountains to the prairie and gradually took over and covered the entire country. The old stone walls, the palaces, the temples, and the museums. In regards to the growing forest and the glorious green progress on Earth, this woodpecker issued the following statement.
We're moving onward.
We're moving onward.
We're moving onward.
Holy crud, kids, this is
Yeah, well, yeah. Holy crap.